recording. Here we go.
Hey guys. If you guys are watching YouTube, you saw the best two fucking goofy, ugly faces ever.
Speak for yourself, sir. Speak for yourself.
I'm Corey. Welcome to the Fit Society Better Together podcast, episode freaking 10, bro. We're 10 deep.
10 deep, man. We are 19% of the way done to our 1-year commitment of 52 episodes.
Which means you guys only have to listen to us for another 81%.
That was good math, dude. That was good on the fly math.
Yeah, thanks. Suffer through, ladies and gentlemen. Suffer through. It's not going to stop. You can quit listening, but that just makes you a loser and a quitter, which we hate.
Dude, we can't afford to lose one listener. We'll go from 4 to 3. We can't do it. I think we picked one up last week.
So hang in there. Also, this episode brought to you by Topo Chico, which if you guys haven't had Topo Chico, just straight up regular Topo Chico. Don't get the grapefruit. Don't get the lime. If you want the lime, get a glass, put some ice in it, squeeze a fresh lime in there, a little bit of salt. It's like having a margarita, but you're not having a margarita.
Boom, son.
That's it. Cool. That's the end of the episode.
See you guys later.
See you later. All right. So the episode topic today is going to be, should I hire a coach? We're talking as a member here. As a member, should you hire a coach? As always, we're going to go through our 3-2-1 format. Not as always, because we switched that up a couple podcasts ago, but whatever, we can do what we want. It's our podcast. You're just listening. 3-2-1 format, 3 thoughts, but really only 2 because Cassidy's not here. Man, this intro is getting long.
Yeah.
2 thoughts, 2 myths, 1 question to ask yourself, and a go as an action for you to go do on your own. MJ, kick me off with your first thought on, I'm a member, should I hire a coach? I'm anybody.
I was going to say, man, I think it's a catch-all. First of all, I think it's a catch-all.
I have a heartbeat. Should I hire a coach?
And listen, if 1 out of every 4 of our total members, or 1 out of every 4 of our total listeners is not with us, like, they're listening too, you know?
That's true.
We got to help those guys out.
Super true. Your mom and my mom.
That's right. I know. Aren't moms the best? Like, you're doing such a good job, honey.
Oh, man.
Anyways, we love our moms. Actually, we do share that. We have great relationships with our moms, by the way.
Yes,
our moms love us. And anyways, so the topic, should I hire a coach? First of all, we should be generally specific in that there's a couple different ways you can hire a coach, right? You can do that in a large group, GPP, general physical preparedness setting, like we have in our regular general membership. You can do that in a small group setting, right? Which is the same idea, just in a smaller setting with less people for different reasons and rationales, or you can do it on a one-on-one level. And, at the end of the day, coaching, in my opinion, okay, and a good coach, and that's my skill, that's my trade, that's your trade, that's what we do. That's like a framer swings a hammer, like we're coaches, we coach, that's what we do. I believe that the benefit to be had as a member or a client is with a coach that really understands what a coach's responsibility is. And that helps you make a decision of, should you hire one, what capacity, and what does it look like? I think great coaches, and I'm answering this question a little backwards of should I hire one? Well, first of all, it should be a good one if you do, okay? And that's small group, one-on-one. And to me, what good coaches do is they help individuals go from A to Z in the safest, shortest time possible. And safest and shortest. I'll overemphasize that. And good coaches will inspire you. Good coaches will equip you, meaning they will train you and develop you. And then last but not least, they will empower you to go get it done, right? And so if I'm on this call and I'm asking myself, do I need a coach? Should I hire one in one of those capacities? I'm probably going to ask myself, how motivated am I? How inspired am I? Number 1. Number 2, even if I'm motivated and inspired, do I have the tools that I need to go from A to Z, like we discussed, Corey, in the shortest time possible, and do it most efficiently and safely? And then secondly, or tertiary to that, would be, am I empowered to go do this on my own? Okay. And it's those three things that I look at. If I answer like, no, I'm not inspired, or I lack motivation, or no, you know what, I don't really know what to do, and you know what, I really don't want to do it and don't have the accountability, I'm looking at hiring a coach.
Yeah,
Period.
for sure.
So, we believe inside of our community, like we're a very coach-centered organization.
Yep.
We'll get into in some of our myths, kind of going through group one-on-one, should you, shouldn't you, why you should or shouldn't. But my overall thought is, asking yourself those three kind of guided questions to yay or nay. And if you got any nays in there, man, you're going to stand to benefit from a coach.
Yeah, for sure. No, I love it. I totally agree. I'll go a little broader perspective. We're going to be pretty heavy on the fitness side because that's what we're talking about. That's what we do. That's what we love. But I would encourage people to not only take this and what we talk about in regards to fitness, but in regards to other parts of your life as well. You can get a coach for just about anything. You can't necessarily get a good coach, right? You could hire a bad coach for just about anything, but you could get a good coach for just about anything, and it would serve to benefit you. I know that whether it's a mentor or a coach, I've hired a business coach. I have a business coach right now. I have a coach for working out. Rachel's kind of my coach, right? We help each other. We do movement screens on each other. Me and Rachel coach other of our coaches. You can get a coach for your marriage, whether it's going good or going bad. You get a coach for just about anything. And having that broad perspective and being open-minded to not letting our egos get in the way of like, no, I can do this. Like, I don't need a coach. Like, maybe you do. And it kind of goes back to those three questions that you were talking about. Those are really good points, but like, there's nothing wrong with hiring a coach. The only thing that if you hire a good coach, here's what's going to happen. You're going to get where you want to go faster, which that's awesome. But there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. So I guess my perspective would be, like I said, we're going to lean super heavy on fitness here because that's what we do and what we love. But keep an open mind to all sorts of things. You can get a coach for anything. You get a great coach for anything, and it can make a big impact on your life.
Mm-hmm. So to wrap that up, it's looking at, again, I'm MJ, Corey's Corey. We have some sort of goal out there, and we're sitting there, whether it's in any fitness, financial, relational, spiritual, right? And we go back to a holistic approach of why we do this in the first place. If I want to get there in the shortest amount of time possible, as safe as possible, so responsibly, okay, hire a damn coach.
Yeah.
And my last thought on that before we go into our myths is, and I stole it from Jason Khalipa at NorCal, but the white belt mentality.
Yeah.
You as a coach working for our team, you've heard me say this on multiple occasions, which is, guys, like, let's all embrace, myself included, because Corey, guess what? I have coaches too, right? I have mentors in my life. I pay handsomely for them. And that's investing in myself, because I'm sitting there going, you know what? I think somebody can help me do the things that we just said. But embracing a white belt mentality, and that'll shift gears into our first myth, I think does nothing but serves you well. And our first myth is this, is that only brand new exercisers, okay, stand to benefit from hiring a coach, whether it's one-on-one, group, small group, etc. Like, I'm going to just go do my own thing. Thanks, but no thanks. I don't need a coach. Right.
Yeah.
And you're basically saying, like, if I'm advanced or I know what I'm doing, I don't need a coach.
Yeah. And here's what I do. I immediately go to the person that has been at our gym for 4 years. They're doing performance 80% of the time, fitness 30% of the time. They have okay movement, right? They move decently well. They have a lot of the really pretty or like flashy skills, right? The ring muscle up, the good overhead squat. And in their head, they're thinking, I do not need a coach. I don't need a coach for anything. Well, newsflash. Guess what? There's Olympic athletes that can do crazy gymnastics things you will never be able to dream of, and can snatch your body weight plus what you're snatching plus what I'm snatching. And they all have coaches. Yeah. And the reason is because as humans, inherently we get complacent. I think that's one of the biggest reasons. It's inherently you're going to get complacent. You think, I know what I'm doing, or I have my goal, I'll be able to get there, no worries. And then what happens is you start to lack in the areas that you're not equipped to coach yourself in. So, for example, maybe you do have a really good overhead snatch, but maybe now you have a slight ankle injury, and now you have some ankle mobility issues, and now your snatch isn't quite as pretty. You're still adding weight, but now it's adding stress to your knee or your hip. And I immediately go here because this is like what I love. But over time, you might end up just being like, dude, man, my hip always hurts now. Well, maybe you should have hired a coach to at least assess you, or at least got an assessment and been like, oh man, I should really work on these fine-tuned details. So I think that's why anybody can stand to benefit from a coach. And I went super heavy on fitness there, but you can give me your thoughts on it too. It's just, I'm passionate about it.
It's what we do. I hope you are. It's good. Need versus want. Just because you don't want one doesn't mean you don't need one.
Yeah. That's huge.
Or can't stand to benefit from one. I think of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, arguably the best basketball player of all time, still in fitness, but in a specific sport. He hired a coach, not to be his coach, but he hired a coach to be nobody else's coach and just his. Think about that. The best basketball player on the planet goes, I need a coach, and I'm going to do best basketball player in the world, right? Like arguably of all time. Bro, if that guy needs a coach or could benefit from one, I promise you can too. Hey, if you're listening, you can benefit from a coach, whether you want to, right? Or whether that's on you. But one thing that drives me insane on a professional level, because I know we can help people, is the person that walks into our gym or calls into our gym and says, hey, what kind of gym are you? What do you do? And we go, hey, I'll tell you who we are. We meet you where you're at. We assess you. Fit Society's a bus. Off of those assessments, we diagnose what's going on, and we turn around, find your need, and put you on the right seat of that bus. And we have a very what would be called an individualized program design approach, whether it's in a group or one-on-one setting. We put together the right seat of the bus for you. That's what we do. And when people call in or come in and they're like, no, man, I just like doing my own thing, it immediately just makes me go, oh, not because they can't do their own thing. Don't miss it. But because I know that the difference between doing their own thing and being involved in a setting where you have accountability externally, somebody to, like I said, in order, inspire you, equip you, and then empower you, you're only going to get better results in a shorter amount of time anyways, right?
Yeah, totally.
So on that, I think enough about only beginners should have coaches. Like, it's just a fallacy, and that's why we're addressing it as a myth. Yeah. Additionally, jumping into our second myth is that would be that I'm a member or client of a gym, or not, or at home, either way, and I can only stand to benefit, or I can learn online or follow programming and it be as good and as effective as hiring a coach.
Yeah. And I think this one really goes hand in hand with the other one too. It's just got its own little takes on it. But I think for a lot of people, like, they think that, and that's great. If you're not an expert in that field, or you haven't even at least put some time into that field, the first thing you're gonna have to do right away when we talk about barriers to entry, right? Like, whenever you're setting out to go get a goal, there's all these barriers of entry of like you even making it to that goal to begin with. One of the big barriers of entry is just learning how to go about getting to that goal. Mm-hmm. And if you hire a coach, dude, that's gone. She is going to teach you how to get around those barriers and break through those barriers so you have knowledge, but you don't have to now go and watch 17 hours of YouTube videos and read 36 blogs on how to get to XYZ fitness goal. And the other crazy part about that, and it used to be reverse, it used to be like there was 2 textbooks, the plethora of fitness and nutrition and information in general that you can find on the internet, that is terrible advice. That will not only not bring you closer to your goal, but send you way further away from it, is insane. So you better have a freaking PhD and know how to read scientific studies and break them down to see what's actually legit and what's not legit. So I think like the whole, I'll just figure it out on YouTube. I'll just follow this blog. Like, unless you're really inundated in that stuff, that is just the wrong way to go. And all you're going to do is cause yourself more frustration. I'm not saying it can't be done, but I'm just saying the amount of anguish and grief and headache you're going to save yourself by just deciding like, you know what? No, I do need to get a coach for this. Your return of investment on that is going to be huge. Number one, because you're going to get to your goal faster. And the second thing is you're going to have so much more energy and time to put into the things you do know about and that you do care about and love and have goals for. Like, it just opens it up.
That's a good point. I think I want to address the programming side of this, because oftentimes anybody that's on this, listening to this, is following some type of program. It's just whether or not it's a good one and to what degree, right? And in my opinion, and I've said this before when you were our training director, Corey, I still think this to this day is one of the most overrated things in any gym is programming. Okay. And not that it's not important. It matters. You have to be responsible in your set schemes, rep schemes, upper body, lower body, all those things. But I hear so often people going, oh, what program are you following? Or what program are you on?
What's Rich Froning doing?
You know, like, and it's like, I think of programming as like golf clubs to a golfer, right?
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
Like,
great analogy.
If I go get better golf clubs, okay, it's going to immediately take 3 strokes aside off my game. No, bro, it's not the area or the arrow, it's the Indian. Okay. Yeah. Are you better served taking the same piece of shit sticks you have right now and go hiring a swing coach to teach you how to do it properly? Or you better serve spending that money on a new set of golf clubs, which in our programming, new Metcons, lifters, belts, wrist wraps, all this
double knee sleeves.
Bro, no, stop. See, one of my favorite things, and we embrace this. We talked about the MCI charter a while back, right? Mechanics, consistency, and intensity. Well, where are you learning those mechanics to go execute that program at the level it was intended?
Yeah.
Do you understand how to squat properly, how to deadlift and hinge properly, how to press overhead properly? Do you know how to do the common uncommonly well?
Yes.
Right? And to be able to do the common uncommonly well, oftentimes we all need somebody outside of ourselves look at, assess, help hold to account the progress in that space. So programming, you know, is in my opinion so overweighted. It's not that it doesn't matter. Don't miss what I'm saying, guys out there. No, oh, you said that programming doesn't. No, it matters. But you're
Rachel's
giving it too much credit
right now. Rachel Greb's just like,
right. We're far better served. We're far better served making sure whatever programming you do, if it's push-ups, sit-ups, running around the block, and air squats, that you're doing that well with the proper mechanics consistently over time. Your intensity will go through the roof. And when you do that 3 to 4 days a week and eat right, guess what happens? Fucking magic. You get the best results of your life. You go, where'd that come from? Well, it came from the coach that held you to account to those original standards, not the programming.
And tailors it.
Yeah.
You read a blog that's written for 10,000 people and you can go out and do it. That doesn't mean that it's meant for you, right? I could go Google right now, Michael Jordan's basketball practice schedule and breakdown. And I can go out and shoot hoops all freaking day according to that. And I will never be freaking Michael Jordan. I can promise you that. Our coaches, and something I think we do really well, the best really, is our coaches go in and they look at the workout and they explain it with detail and in thought, so you know what to do and how to do it. And then on top of that, God forbid you have a question, you can walk up to them and ask, and they will tailor it down even more. Oh, hey, by the way, I just wanted to tell you that I was going to train for this triathlon, or I want to lose 10 pounds. And our coaches probably already know this because they talk to you anyways. And they're going to go in and be like, okay, don't do this, do that, add in this, tweak that. It's so important.
So going back to we went through thoughts, we went through 2 myths. We go to the one question, which is, should I hire a coach? Which is the topic of the podcast. And as we discussed prior to I think the big swing thought here on should you or shouldn't you is you ask yourself, I'm Jane or John Doe. This is where I'm at now. This is where I want to be, right? And we were talking before, I go back to VOPA, right? So what objectives you want to accomplish? That's the O, the V, the vision. That's why it's important to you. And go, what's the best process for me to go from where I'm at now to where I want to be? If I answer that question in the affirmative with a coach being able to get me there in the shortest amount of time possible, safest, most efficiently, then yeah, hire a fucking coach.
Yeah.
If that's what you want. If you want, again, those parameters. Or if you look at that and in your process, you say, no, that wouldn't benefit me for XYZ reasons, or I'm going to do it this way instead of that way, then you go, nope, I don't need a coach for that. Because a lot of members in our community and outside of our community will do, for example, our GPP programming, right? Which is going to make you faster, stronger, leaner, and a harder human being to kill over time, working on all the different physical adaptations and all the different capacities. But if there's something that you want to specialize in or have a need for that's super individualized, everything from, you know what, like my hip hurts, I can't get my hip to stop hurting. Well, don't continue to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. Go get help with that externally from you. Go hire a Corey or a Rachel for an assessment, diagnosis, and some programming that's specific to that to fix that. No different than if you are like, you know what, I think it's really cool to be able to do a ring muscle up or these gymnastic movements or Olympic lifts. And I need the technical skill set and somebody to work with me and walk me through that. Then yeah, those are areas that you would supplement. And that's the word I would use, supplemental one-on-one coaching as you work, as you progress through life and as your goals change and as your body changes and your skills change. So, you know, it all goes back, Corey, and I'll let you finish your thought on that, or start and finish a thought on that. But it all goes back to where are you at and what do you want? And let's make it happen the safest, shortest time possible.
Yeah, I don't have much more to add on that. I think my only thing I would add is like, if you're going to a good coach, sometimes the best thing you can do is just schedule a consult with the coach and ask them, do I need you as a coach?
Yeah.
I don't know why, it's probably in my head, probably because I hate him, but I also love him. Is I think of like a Nick Watson with his barbell club, and he's got some dudes right now that are freaking slinging some serious PRs in his weightlifting men's club. If you're a guy and you're like, I don't know if I should be in that club, walk up to Nick Watson and be like, do you think I should join your men's barbell club? And he's probably going to go, do you want to get better at Olympic weightlifting? And you'll say yes or no. If you say no, he'll be like, no, you shouldn't do this. If you say yes, he'll be like, can you commit to these days and times? Do you want to specifically work on these movements? If you say yes, he's probably going to say, yeah, you should do it. It makes sense for you to do it. You want to get better at it? You want to coach for it? Do it.
Yeah.
A good coach is going to steer you in the right direction. Yeah. I can't tell you how many consults I've had where I've told somebody like, you know what? You don't need me. You need nutrition. You need weightlifting. You need to go see a doctor, not me. Like, they're going to steer you in the right direction if they're a good coach. So just ask them.
Yep. And I think that's an actionable go from here. Like what you just said is assess what you might need a coach for and ask questions accordingly. I think we'd be remiss, Corey, if on this topic, just of should I hire a coach? And this is my 16 years of coaching experience coming through when I say this, is if you're somebody that, quote, knows what to do, I know what to do. I know I should eat this and not that. Or you're somebody that knows what to do with respect to exercise. Oh yeah, in high school and college and this or whatever else. But you don't get it done. Okay.
An accountability coach.
The word accountability, and that's where I would be remiss if I didn't bring in our program at Fit Society. That's our fifth component of fitness. Our fifth and final component of fitness is accountability, motivation, guidance, and supervision. The AMG, right? That's what it is. That is where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. That is where all these things get executed. I'll just go right back to VOPA. So we ask a question, should you hire a coach? That's your process. Yes, I probably should. That helps and is a built-in accountability tool to ensure that you just get it done.
Yep.
And that at the end of the day is the most important thing, is that we don't think about doing things. We don't just talk about doing things, but we actually walk them out, and you get it from your head to your heart to your feet. And if you do it enough times with accountability, it becomes a habit. And just imagine going from where you're at to where you want to be, and then living that out habitually. That's a really fucking cool thing. I promise anybody that's listening here in any of those areas, fitness is obviously our low-hanging fruit, but financially, spiritually, relationally, etc., you're best served to hire a coach, whether you do or don't, because you want to or not. That's on you. Just understand there's consequences.
Yep.
So
for sure.
Anyways, man, I think that was a skip labor, have the baby, meat puncher
Done.
of a podcast.
What's up? In your face, it's over.
Yeah. Hey, for our 4 listeners, we think we're going to try starting next week in the spirit of should I hire a coach and meeting our team. I'm pretty sure you're tired of listening to certainly me.
Definitely Cassidy.
Probably Corey the
not
most.
Me. No, probably not.
Me and Cassidy.
I got so many texts from all 4 of our listeners. It was like, dude, I just turned off the podcast because I heard you weren't on it. I just shut it off right then and there.
I know. They were so disappointed. We're gonna start bringing on some guests, and we want to start with some in-house coaches, and we'll probably mix up the format a little bit with whatever we're feeling, because again, we can do a little thing called what we want. That's what we're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
So next week, episode 11. Hopefully we'll have a guest coach to be named. Tell all your friends.
You don't just have to listen to us.
Link here, subscribe.
Nobody's going to put anything there.
But guys, by the way, we don't have any of that shit.
No fancy stuff.
No.
Bare bones.
Yeah. But anyways,
cool.
Today you're listening to this on the 5th, I believe, which is Monday. I hope you guys all enjoyed your holiday weekend and you're safe from all the shenanigans.
Oof. Maybe. Right. We'll see.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Adios. Peace. I went early.